is here and the flowers are starting to bloom. Do you know someone who needs a pick-me-up and you want to send them a card that has flowers? We have that card for you today. Hi, my name is Georgia and this is Creative Moments by G, and we are so excited to be able to share this stamp set with you today. And Maudie and I think it makes the perfect flower card to send. So let's head down to the crafting table and let's get started. We are so excited about using this stamp set and we think it makes just a beautiful card. Look at this. We also are using the new in colors from Stampin' Up. So the first thing you're going to need to do is go ahead and gather your materials. Now remember, all the supplies and materials will be listed over on the blog, and the supplies will be listed below the video. So we're going to start with a 5.5 by 8.5 card scored at 4 1/4. And then we're going to have a couple mats on the front. Now, this is our new in color, and this is Highland Heather. We are going to do a technique that allows us to emboss on the top and the bottom, framing the sentiment that we're going to put in the middle. So how do we do that? Well, the quick tip for this is to simply grab your Post-it note and line that up right in the center. Get it right where you want it. And now here you have a template so that you don't go under this and you don't go above it. Let me show you what I mean. We are going to take the Coastal Weave embossing folder. We are going to put it just like this, and we're lining it up right on the bottom of that Post-it note, and it helps you get it exactly where you want it. And now we're going to run it through our cut and emboss machine. And because this is a 3D embossing folder, you only need 2 plates. You need the 1 and the 4. Look how pretty that is. Now I want to give you a tip. You want to make sure that your emboss is the same. So when you put it back in the folder, make sure you put it exactly the same way. So we know that Stampin' Up was on the top. That gives us the emboss that we want. We're going to go ahead and line this up right on that Post-it note again. You want to get it lined up perfectly, and we're going to run it through our machine. And when you take it out, look at that. Now you have a perfectly framed area for your sentiment. We're going to stamp our sentiment right here. And I'm going to use Rich Razzleberry to go with the beautiful purple in colors that we have. So we're bringing in the stamp. Cherish every moment of this day. Don't you love the way the embossing just really frames that sentiment? So now we're going to go ahead and just use some glue and lay this down. Because you have embossed this paper, make sure that you get enough glue to get inside the crevices. Next, we're going to go ahead and lay it down on the top of our card, just with some glue. Now, we need to go ahead and color our flowers. So we're going to put that to the side, just right here. And I have already stamped our flowers, so let's get out our blends. We will be using the dark Highland Heather, and then we're going to come in with the dark Fresh Freesia, which is the new in color. We're going to come in with our bronze for our stems, and then for our leaves, we're going to go ahead and use our light Granny Apple and our dark Granny Apple. We're going to bring in our dark Highland Heather for our shaded areas already that they've given you. And I'm just going to go in just a little bit wherever they have already given you that definition and just put a little bit of that dark heather. Now I'm going to come in with that light fresh freesia, and I'm just going to go over in circular motions to really just highlight that definition that's already there. Now, because these are alcohol markers, they will lighten up once they dry, and they dry very quickly. If this takes away too much of the definition, you can always come back in with the darker color. Okay, and now I'm going to do the leaves. Come in with that dark granny apple and just go over the veins of the leaf. Now I'm going to come in with the light granny apple green. Now I'm going to come in with the bronze to pick up the stem. So you can see how we blended those beautiful flowers. And you would just continue to do that. And I went ahead and I used our die set and I cut them out so that we can go ahead and get them raised up on dimensionals on the top of the card. Now you need to decide exactly where you want to place it. I cut off these leaves right here because it was just too much. So we're just going to go ahead and snip those off on both flowers. And save them because you might want to use them later on. And now you can just decide on the placement. I think this is about right. This is where I'm going to want to put this flower, and then I'm going to arrange it over here, right at the bottom. But first I want to show you a piece of the die set that is completely overlooked. You can purchase all these dies, of course. This die right here is really overlooked. And when you use it, it just adds truly an added dimension to this flower. Let me show you what it looks like. It's very small, see? It's just a very small little leaf arrangement, but when you add this, it is just so pretty. Now I want to show you the difference. Look at that. And it just really adds something. So I'm going to go ahead and glue this down on the page. And now I'm going to add another one down here. Now we're going to come in with our flowers. I'm going to add some dimensionals to this flower, and then we will get it pressed down on the card. Okay, we're going to bring in our flower and get it positioned exactly where we want it. Now I'm just going to cut off this extra part right here using my snips. We have one flower. Now we're going to add our dimensionals and add this to the card. Now I will just cut off the side part. And here is the front of our card. I love those colors. I really love this additional part that is so overlooked on the dies that come with this set. Now we're going to decorate the inside of the card. We're just going to add a small flower here. We're going to add some leaves, so we're only going to ink up the top part of the leaf. Now we're going to bring in our blends and get this colored. And I think these two colors blend so nicely together. Now we need to just get our leaves colored. Go ahead with your dark green and just lightly go over those veins. And then come in with your light granny apple. We're going to go ahead and glue that down. And you have this beautiful spring flower just ready for someone to just receive this and receive so much joy, right? We love these new colors. Here's the one that we just created. Let's look at this one. We love the way the embossing folders just frame the sentiment. And then we have another beautiful spring flower card. Now look at this. We used a different embossing folder. Once again, we framed it, but we doubled it. So we added 2 strips of the Post-it note to make it even larger. But we went ahead and we embossed it. It just frames that sentiment perfectly, doesn't it? Now we did this to the inside. You could actually do this on the outside and just make a very quick card. Well, thank you so much for sharing your time with us today. We hope you were inspired and you give us a thumbs up. Please remember to subscribe to our channel. Well, go out, have a fantastic day, be safe, be healthy, be creative in your crafting, and Maudie and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.